Hi, Kirsty here to tell you about books that you should be pre-ordering for 2014 release dates. These are all books that I've read in the last 6 months or so and absolutely adored. So let's get on with it. First up is When Mr. Dog Bites by Brian Connaghan. I probably didn't say that right because I never do. It is amazing. It is 2014's answer to A Curious Incident, and I loved every second of it. It's about a young boy who has Tourette's. It's obviously quite sweary because he has Tourette's, but it's brilliant because it gives you a fantastic insight on what it must be like to have Tourette's, and I loved every page of it. Next up, It Felt Like a Kiss. I love this book. I must have read it about a year ago because it was first due to come out in 2013 in May, so I really can't tell you an awful lot about it anymore, but I loved it as much as I loved every other single book by this author, so definitely worth a look when you can get your hands on it. At the end of January it's been announced today. January release. This is actually January's book club read for the British books. I read it a while back because I got my proof copy and picked it up because I couldn't leave it sitting there looking at me because I love Ruth Warburton. It's set in Victorian England. It's about witches. There's a bit of paranormal, a bit historical. I don't read an awful lot of paranormal anymore, but I do love this one, and I do love Ruth Warburton's books. So if you loved A Witch in Love and A Witch in Winter and A Witch Alone, which are her first trilogy of books, pick it up. If you didn't, it doesn't matter because it will stand alone as it is. First in the trilogy, it is brilliant. Get your hands on a copy of it. Another historical one, The Madness by Alison Rattle. I've only recently got a hold of a copy of this, and I've been waiting for it for a long time because I loved Alison's first book, The Quietness. This is The Madness, and it's set in a Victorian seaside town with a pier which looks a bit like Cromer. So apart from the rocks, Cromer doesn't have rocks. So I got very excited about it, and I loved the history. I loved that she was clearly mental in her own bonkers way, and it's just brilliant. Get it and read it. And I had a really great big geek out at the bit that when they mentioned the Great Stink, because that's what I teach all the time. I loved every second of it. A very special little book here, A Boy Called Hope by Lara Williamson. I loved it. It's a little bit younger than YA. I'm a little bit younger age, but it's really cute. This little boy, the main thing he wants in the entire world is for his daddy to love him, and his daddy doesn't, even though he's like a news presenter on the TV and he gets to see him all the time. And it's really sad, but it's also really sweet and really lovely, and I loved every second of it. It's out in March. Get yourself a copy. Definitely not least, I'm going to finish up with Non's book, Trouble. Get it, it's amazing. I love it. I'm going to spend the next year raving about how much I love it. It's just brilliant. It's based around the story of Hannah, who's pregnant, and Aaron, the boy at school, new kid at school, who pretends to be the father of her child for her. It's about friendship. It does teenage sex really well, and I just loved it. I loved every second of it. I do love Non, to be fair, if we're honest, and me and her get each other book-wise, so I always was going to love it, if we're honest, but I really loved it, and you need to get a copy and buy it because it's wonderful. Books for 2014, go and pre-order every single one of them because they're all brilliant. If anyone has got any recommendations for books they've already read that are out in 2014 that they think I ought to read, put them in the box below. If you've got any that you haven't read but you really want to read, put them in the box below and I'll check them out, because I've read all my 2013 books now and I'm dying to get started on my 2014, and my to-read shelf is really tiny, so I have lots of room to pre-order and buy lots of books, which will be marvellous. I'm very excited about that. This is my last video for the year. I'll be back in January, so happy Christmas and a happy new year to everybody, and thank you all for watching us in our crazy ways on here.